Stranger Things Season 4 is finally here, and holy cow did it over-deliver. The 7 episodes of Volume 1 absolutely blew my expectations out of the water. All the new characters, Argyle, Eddie, Dimitri, absolutely hilarious. I loved each and every one of them. Even Yuri. I kind of wanted him to be a good guy just because he was so funny, but he was still such a great addition to the show. And Vecna, holy cow, what a good bad guy. They don't get much worse than him. Well, I mean, he's working for the Mind Flayer, but other than that, he's got to be one of the baddest guys in the Stranger Things universe. I don't know how they're going to top him in Season 5, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. There are so many things that I have questions on and want to talk to you guys about before Volume 2 gets here, so if you're new to the channel, welcome. Don't forget to go down and smash that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the next Stranger Things videos I've got coming out. I cannot wait any longer. I need to talk to someone about this. Oh my gosh. Episode 4, Dear Billy, was one of the best episodes of the whole series, and that ending, I was not expecting it to be so dramatic. Anyone else lose some tears here, or was that just me? So many huge questions leading up to Volume 2, which, by the way, I don't know if you've seen the trailer yet, but I'm going to be breaking down every shot in the next video, so be looking out for that. We have so many different cliffhangers, so many shots from the trailers that weren't in Volume 1, meaning Hop with the flamethrower, Dustin with the spear all suited up, those are shots from Volume 2. One of the ones I'm looking forward to most is after Robin, Steve, and Nancy get suited up and find the stash of guns. This looks so bad, but like I said, we'll go over every single shot in the next video. Right now, we need to address all the Volume 1 questions and cliffhangers. Because last we left off, almost every storyline has main characters in danger, starting off with Nancy. Somehow, this girl got sucked into Vecna's mind space and is being tortured by the guilt of Barb's death from Season 1. If you don't remember, Nancy and Barb went to a party together and were planning to leave at a certain time, but when it came time to leave, Nancy wasn't ready to leave. Instead, she was planning on doing stranger things, you could say, with you-know-who. And then 10 minutes later, a swimming Demogorgon comes out of the pool and kills Barb, basically labeling Nancy a killer. Because if she and Barb left when they were originally planning to, Barb most likely wouldn't have died. So ever since, Nancy has been carrying around the guilt and blaming herself deep down for Barb's death. Same thing happened in Season 3. Honestly, I didn't see how it was Max's fault at all for Billy's death, or why on earth she would blame herself even at the slightest. And this was like the biggest point of the whole show in Max's storyline. There was nothing she could have done to help. I found it kind of weird that she fit into this because she felt guilty for his death. Traumatized, yes, but guilty? No way. If anyone is to blame, it's Susie. Yeah, that's right, fingers are pointing to Salt Lake City on this one. If Susie hadn't gone off into a musical number for 3 minutes and just given them the code to the safe, they could have gotten the key to shut off the giant portal death gun thingy 3 minutes sooner, so Hop and Joyce could have shut it down before the Terminator found them, closing the portal, killing the Mind Flayer, way before it stabbed Billy. In fact, she's the reason Hop got sent to Russia too. Not that she had any idea about any of this and could feel any guilt making her a target for Vecna. I mean, she's safe just because she's not in the near vicinity, but still, Nancy has been the perfect target for Vecna all along, and we didn't even realize it. And lucky for her, she gets the nice Vecna who decided to monologue for 30 minutes and not just stab her and break her bones. He's actually giving her his full backstory. This is so thoughtful, but how is she supposed to escape this? After she climbs out of the pool where Barb died, she finds herself at the top of the Creel house in Vecna's mind. And it actually sounds like he was surprised by Nancy and like he congratulated her on getting so close to finding out the truth by talking to his father, Victor Creel. Probably the only person since the incident who's gotten this close to figuring out Vecna's secret. And I don't get why Vecna, when he started telling Nancy about moving to the Creel house, I don't know why he tried to relate to her by saying that, like her, he didn't fit in with other children. What was he trying to say? Nancy was popular, right? I mean, she was a little bit of a goody two-shoes, but she wasn't a weirdo or an outcast by any means. She just had good grades. Was Vecna referring to something different? Was he saying Nancy has a gift that we don't know about yet or something? Anyone have any ideas? I don't think anyone referred to Nancy as broken like Baby Vecna got called. And also, I'm not really a fan of the motives, if you can even call them that, behind one or Henry Creel's actions, saying that all of a sudden he thought the humans are a pest that need to be eradicated or something. It just seems so out of left field for the show, not even mentioning or hinting at anything about this before. I felt like I was watching Parasite all of a sudden. It felt like such a huge detour to give the villain a political motive. I just hope that Nancy survives all of this. I think she's not even in my top 5 for people I'm expecting to die in Volume 2. I think first off, our biggest pick, which we can all agree on, unfortunately, is Steve. I'm really hoping they don't kill off Steve. I mean, I'd say 11, but I don't think they could get away with killing her off before Season 5 comes out. She She's literally the reason that everyone is still alive, like 3 times. Eddie might be our next biggest choice. I think he truly became a fan favorite this season, having no trouble at all fitting right into the gang, which unfortunately makes him the perfect character for them to feel like they can kill off. If he's gone, everyone can still go on without him. Personally, I'm hoping he stays alive and gets carried over to season 5 like they did with Robin from season 3 to 4. I really liked her and Nancy's chemistry this season. And then another one I'm super scared about them killing off is Mike. I want to say that they won't kill him off because he's a main character, but besides Hopper, he's the one that matters most to Eleven, who is the show's main protagonist. Having him sacrifice himself in some way so that Elle can live and beat Vecna would be the most emotional death of them all. Not only would it absolutely kill Eleven, but it would also make her go God mode to fight Vecna at the end of season 4 or the Mind Flayer in season 5. Nancy just doesn't seem like a death that would mean as much to everyone else. Kinda sounds bad when you say it out loud like that, but you know what I mean. Even Max, unfortunately, has a greater chance of getting killed off, and those stills of Lucas absolutely being terrified, looking up into the air, scares me. Max really had one of the most emotional episodes of the whole show, not to mention just a great character arc over the entire season. It would really suck for after all we've been through this season and her finally opening up, to just see her get killed off. She deserves better. The Duffer Brothers like to toy with our emotions. They like to take characters who are bad or turned off from the group or have a different outlook and change their perspective and get the audience to like them and feel for them and get all emotional and happy around them, and then they kill them off. Look at Alexei. Are you kidding me? Steve just feels inevitable because he's a fan favorite, but Max really had the emotional turnaround this season. She was good before, but episode 4, speaks for itself. And by the way, we're just going to breeze over the fact that Henry just developed powers. I'm sorry, but if you're going to be the Mind Flayer's golden boy, I'm going to need a better explanation than that. Hopefully in episode 8, we get the second half of Vecna's monologue, which explains a little more of his Stranger Things based motives and his relationship with the Mind Flayer and whatnot. I love that he has his own creatures. Those demo bats are kind of his thing, but I need more answers. Are we just supposed to believe that Henry was the only kid ever in the entire history of the world to ever develop powers, and then he just somehow knew to grow them all on his own or something? And I get that he's a kid and he hates rules and going to bed at the same time every night, but why does this want to make him kill all the humans? I think it seems like he just had an existential crisis when he was 12 and that became who he was. He just closes his eyes and can slow down time? Please, someone explain. And then boom, he can use the Force to read others' minds and control their bodies? I did like that he was able to reach into his parents' minds and make them see things. This was very reminiscent of Callie's powers with the illusions and hallucinations that we saw. It's like when Brenner tried to replicate him, he was able to give just a fraction of his powers to each kid, with 11 being the most powerful yet. I also found it weird that even though one was supposedly the most powerful, Brenner didn't want to kill him. He put an inhibitor chip in him and made him a nurse. But when he thinks 11 gets too powerful, he manipulates the other children to try to kill her. I just don't get it. Why keep one around? Was he still studying him? Is he unkillable? He found a way to weaken him, so I don't know. And his mom. What on earth did his mom do that made him hate her? Maybe they'll tell us in volume 2, but right now her only crime is putting her children to bed at the same time each night. I don't know if you caught it, but apparently the father, Victor Creel, who fought in the war, accidentally called in an airstrike on his own troops, killing friendlies as well as civilians. So that's the trauma that haunts him up until the current day. It was an accident, he didn't mean to do it, but the blood is still on his hands and he lives with that guilt each day. And I don't think that's something that you would tell your kid either. In his monologue, he almost makes it seem like he hates his parents from the start because they're horrible people. But until that point, he probably had no idea what they had done. Not until he developed his powers enough to be able to look into their minds and comb through their memories at least. Also, I don't know if anyone else noticed, but when they were explaining the Creel murders, they never showed that big hook shot from the trailers of Victor Creel standing over his kids' bodies. In the trailers, there was this big shocking frame of, oh wow, oh snap, it's going down, something just killed those kids and he looks deranged. But when Vecna is explaining to Nancy, it just shows Henry fainting and Victor immediately dropping to his side. I wonder if they shot that one scene just for the trailers, because I don't know if you noticed it, but there was a lot of scenes from the trailers that weren't in the show, meaning they cut a lot of scenes, or there's just a lot of scenes in volume 2 that we haven't seen yet. But I feel like they kind of threw us for a loop here. They also gave the history of MK Ultra, Brenner's project with 11 and the other children, which I feel like I need to do a deep dive on in general just because it basically retconned the Hopper book, Darkness on the Edge of Town. Because in this book, it tells of Subject Zero being the first subject in the MK Ultra program back when it was started in Vietnam when Hopper was there. Subject Zero was the only soldier out of hundreds who was able to survive all the tests. When the war ended and everyone was sent home, they just told him to forget it like nothing ever happened. So what did he do? He used his manipulation powers to grow a cult army to take over the entire city of New York. Thankfully though, Detective Hop went undercover and infiltrated his organization and stopped him before he took over everyone in New York's minds, but I already made a video on that. You can go watch it if you'd like. And these are just some of the many questions I have after watching Volume 1. I have no idea how Hop, Joyce, and Murray are going to get back to America. I'd love to see them discover some Russian transportation system they were using for the creatures and equipment in Season 3, but who knows? Maybe we'll see them use a portal or something. And what on earth has Will been painting that's been so important, and why is he acting so sus this season? I have so many videos I'm working on. Make sure to turn my post notifications on so you don't miss the next one. I just wanted to get a quick video out while I'm processing everything we just watched and while I'm starting to work on all the rest of these videos, so stay tuned. I'll be back soon with another video, but until then, I will see you in the Discord. Peace.